Hey there guys, we're taking a look at Dead Space 3 running on the i5-1135G7. Now this is at 1080p, but this time with the medium preset. The last game we played at the high preset and it gave us pretty decent performance. Here we had to drop it down to medium to get pretty decent performance. And the performance here is very, very good for the most part. We are going below 60 for the 1% lows. That's perfectly acceptable. We're keeping an average above 60. The FPS will fluctuate all over the place, but we never get any real stutters or anything that really interrupt the gameplay. The performance, for the most part, is just very consistent, very good. The biggest moments where you're going to see the frame rate drop is actually during, cinematic situations, like big epic cutscenes. This game, from what I've played, has a lot of action scenes that are just pretty much just event QTEs at the most. So at the most you're going to be doing a QTE, but for the most part it's all just animated, like pre-done cutscenes. And it's really those scenarios where you're going to see the frame rate start to drop into the 40s and 30s, but outside of that, when you're actually playing the game, the frame rate itself is actually very consistent. Now I don't know how it's going to be later on in the game, but at least in this section it was just completely consistent. I played for about 2 hours and I never ran into any issues whatsoever. So honestly, this is just a win. Throughout the series, yeah, we've had to start to lower the settings, but even then, this at these settings looks better than the original game did at its maximum settings. So visually speaking, we're not really sacrificing anything, and we are at 1080p, so we are at native resolution. No problems there. No need to use 720p. So all in all, I consider this one a win. Now, I don't know if you're going to love the game. I mean, I don't know if I really like it too much. It's a little too different from Dead Space 2, if you ask me. I think Dead Space 2 hit the right balance of just action and horror. And this is just really turning up the action. It's crazy. Like, the opening is just the most wild, intense Hollywood shit I've ever seen. I mean, who knows? I'm going to power through this. I'm going to see if the game gets any better. I mean, the gameplay isn't bad itself, but it carries around some of the clunkiness of Dead Space itself that kind of just makes the gameplay a little worse, because Dead Space is a little slower. You're not really... The gameplay itself really wasn't built around you being a fast-paced action hero, And so sometimes you'll be in shootouts where you might need to climb something and the climbing animation is just super bad. It's just one of those things where it very much feels like they took a game that was from a different genre and tried to turn it into an action game. But I mean, in terms of raw performance, it is doing really, really well. So I'm going to power through this. I'm going to see how it goes. So far, after 2 hours, it wasn't boring, at least, So we'll see how I end up feeling about it. But I'll see you guys.